I feel like a hot mess today. I do. There has been so much going on this month. I really do need to give myself a little bit of grace. Just with having a toddler starting daycare for the first time and trying to navigate sickness that inevitably happens. It's just been so much lately. So I thought today we could do a coffee and money talk. I have my iced coffee, much needed today. So we can just jump right into some of your questions and we can just have a little life and money chat. Let's get into your questions. The first one is, do you consider yourself living paycheck to paycheck? Is your 1 month ahead your emergency fund? No, we don't live paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck means that there is little to no money left over after most of your bills have been paid and most of your living expenses has been covered. Paycheck to paycheck means there's pretty much little to no savings after you have covered those things, and it's just razor thin margins that you're living on that kind of carries you until the next paycheck. Now, I say most bills and most living expenses because there are cases in which one paycheck can't even cover most of your bills or your basic living expenses. It's a very scary situation to be in, and one that you really have to take crucial, intentional action in order to get out of. Next question, traditional savings accounts versus money market accounts, pros and cons. Okay, so with a traditional savings account, you have a lower minimum balance or lower minimum threshold in order to open the account. You can also transfer money in and out regularly, but the interest rates are typically really low. Versus a money market account, you could have a slightly better interest rate, but they're still terrible. And also you have higher minimum balances to maintain. What's better than a money market account or traditional savings account is a high yield savings account in which you actually get paid out a lot higher interest rate. And you also take advantage of no minimums, no monthly fees. I personally like using Ally Bank for this, but Capital One, Discover, Synchrony, Chime, all of these banks actually have really great interest rates because they traditionally operate as an online bank instead of brick and mortar. Okay, out of debt, have emergency fund, have a great retirement. Do you have a next step investment video? First of all, you are a rock star. Second of all, do you know your FIRE number? FIRE is financially independent retired early. This is the amount of money in your investments in which you could live off without ever outliving that investment money so that you can free up your time to do what you love. If you don't know your FIRE number, then you definitely have to check out this video up here in the cards. How's Quinn doing at school? Now, this is what I was alluding to in my intro. Quinn is adjusting great. The teacher said by week 2 and the beginning of week 3, she was doing really well. No tears, drop off was really smooth. The last thing to do, well, 2 things. The naps are still really short. She's only napping like 30 minutes at a time, when generally at home she's napping an hour and a half to 2 hours. And also the sickness is just, we knew this was coming. Kyle's expectations were like planned for the worst, but my optimism got ahead of me and the best of me and said, she could be fine. But that really set me up for failure because she was out sick for 2 days on the 2nd week of school. We are on her 4th week of school currently today, and she got sick overnight. She threw up last night, and we didn't even realize it until we got her in the morning because we didn't hear her crying, which is really kind of scary now that I think about it. And that has been so frustrating for me as somebody who is kind of a high achiever and very productive, likes being really productive, such as like recording these YouTube videos. It derails me because she has to stay at home. And it's hard because when they're sick, they're also really clingy, they eat poorly, they aren't really, they aren't themselves, and they just want to be held all the time. So I can't blame her for being sick. It's not her fault. She's still building up her immunity, but I have to say this today, especially because Kyle and I have been tag teaming childcare. He's actually out at the basketball court with her, just trying to like pass time while I'm filming these videos. And I'm just like, ugh, this sucks. When she is at daycare and everybody's healthy, it's amazing. Everybody's awesome. She's doing great. I come home, I get stuff done. It's awesome. Also, last night, this is a side note. Last night, we woke up at 2 a.m. to a 4.2 magnitude earthquake that happened offshore, just off the coast of Malibu. And we felt it. Like, actually, Kyle woke me up at 2 a.m. He was like, earthquake, earthquake. And we like ran into the hallway and just braced ourselves, trying to figure out how long it would be, how long we were gonna be in this like shaky, and the shower glass doors are rattling. It was super freaky, and I could not fall back asleep for the longest time. And then we woke up to a pukey kid, so such is life. Switching gears, want to invest but no idea where to start. What's a good place to start at? I have a video that answers that question, but to cut to the chase here, you want to start with your 401k, especially if your employer offers a match. Okay, next question. Do I make payments on my student loans during the interest freeze or put money in a high yield savings account? Okay, if you have no other debt, you have a healthy emergency fund, I would be real tempted to put more money towards that student loan debt, especially if your balance is over $10,000. Now, the reason why I say $10,000 is because Biden's $10,000 student loan forgiveness is currently tied up in the court system. If that plan actually gets approved and it moves forward, then 10K gets shaved off. And if you had 10K or less than of a balance, then you're student loan debt free. But if you have more than $10,000, let's say $11,000, I would definitely pay down to that 10K. And then you could, another way to do this is you could put money into the high yield savings account until end of June when this is announced. Actually, even if it doesn't go through, the Biden administration is giving a 60-day grace period. So this would effectively, you would be making payments again by September 1st of 2023. Then you could take all that money that you were stockpiling in the high yield savings account, make one lump payment towards that student loan debt, and you'd be that much further ahead. Someone wants to know, side hustles that actually work. Well, let me tell you, I have a video of 27 side hustle ideas from real millennials who have actually worked these jobs in one video. I will link to that up here in the cards for you to look at. Side hustles that I've actually used that work include freelance writing and selling items on Facebook Marketplace and working overtime. I don't know if you can count working overtime as like a true side hustle, but it was a way for me to earn extra income while I was paying off debt. Hands down, Facebook Marketplace and doing some sort of freelancing skill is an amazing way to build up side hustle money. Yes, another one, back to parenting. How did you and Kyle find balance in parenting, sharing responsibilities, and care for Quinn? I mean, we're still trying to find that balance. I find that a lot of the responsibility does fall on my shoulders, mainly because I'm self-employed and I have the flexibility to do so. But also today was definitely a day where I felt anxious, like I need to film, I need to get stuff done. The issue here that I'm trying to work through is, as a self-employed individual, I don't get paid when I don't work. Whereas where Kyle, he's a W-2 worker, he gets unlimited sick leave. And so he still gets paid regardless if he's there or not, which is a really cool perk about his new employer. And he's definitely taken on some of the responsibilities of caring for Quinn when I need to get work done. We try to play to our strengths in terms of who like shuffles what responsibility. For example, I am the one who cooks dinner. I'm the way better cook in the kitchen. So while I'm cooking dinner, Kyle is watching and taking care of Quinn. When dinner's over, he's usually the one in the kitchen cleaning up the mess I made, but also a really good mess because my recipes are really good. I'm the one taking care of Quinn. I'm also the one who puts her down for bed, but he's the one that gets her up in the morning. And on the weekends, we find a balance of who gets to sleep in on which day. I get to sleep in on Saturdays and he gets to sleep in on Sundays. It's a give and take. You'll find that even like before kids, you kind of just find those strengths as a couple anyways. One of you might be the more cleanly one of you might be the better cook, one of you might be better at finances. Same goes with kids. You learn as you go. Next question, Roth 401k or traditional 401k, which do you prefer, taxes taken now or later? I actually like a blend of tax deferred and tax advantaged accounts. So if I'm thinking about the 401k, I wonder, does your employer offer a match? If they're offering a match on the traditional 401k, that's the one that I would go with. But I also think about taxes as I get older. Hopefully, and most likely as you get older, your income increases, which pushes you into a higher tax bracket. Also, we all know that taxes only increase over time, so the likelihood that you would be paying more taxes at the time of retirement means that your 401k will get taxed at that higher tax bracket. So I don't know, I'm kind of interested in doing the Roth 401k in this scenario. Next Q is how to plan for a windfall. Debt-free, have fully funded emergency fund, and already have mortgage. Tips. Okay, so this is a really exciting opportunity. I would ask yourself, is there a really big, lofty financial goal that has been lurking in the back of your mind, but you actually haven't taken any steps to achieve it? When I think about those types of goals, basically what I want you to do is to fill in this blank. Wouldn't it be cool if fill in the blank? So that's how I would think about it. And then once you get your wheels spinning with the ideas, then you can start taking action to actually plan out to make that happen. All right, how to know when to go for a new job. Hate my current job, but good pay and life balance. So I actually did a whole video that would help you figure this out. I will link to that up here in the cards, but I like to break this down into a couple of different segments. So first would be work-life balance and asking yourself, does my boss and team respect my time outside of my work hours, which it sounds like it does. Salary. Is my salary reflective of my skill set and years of experience? This person said they have good pay. So benefits, do I feel like the company is supporting me in my retirement and my health? And then impact. So this could be the trigger here. Do I find my work personally meaningful? Another question you could ask about impact is, are my contributions allowing me to make impact somewhere else outside of the workplace? So even if you hate your job, but the work-life balance is there and you're making good money, does it allow you to make impact in other areas of your life? So those are some questions that I would ask to help you make that decision. Someone says, newly married, struggling to find financial balance. I have a video called How to Get Your Significant Other on Board Financially, and that video is meant for you because it allows you to be vulnerable and also just be curious about what that other person is feeling towards money. So really all you're having is conversations. You're not trying to fix anything or change any existing behaviors. You start with that conversation and being vulnerable. I highly recommend you check out that video. All right, next question. Hi. Hello. Stop making extra debt payments to increase emergency fund or leave emergency fund as is and continue paying down debt. Very, very simple yes, no question. Do you have 2 to 3 months of living expenses set aside already? Yes, no. If no, work on building up the emergency fund till it hits 2 to 3 months of living expenses, stop, and then reallocate that money towards the debt. If yes, reallocate that money towards the debt and continue going until you're debt free. Ideally, your emergency fund should cover the cost of your basic living expenses if you were to lose your job or get really sick. Those things, that money should cover basic living expenses including rent or mortgage payment, utilities, food in the fridge, gas in the car, and definitely your phone. So making sure that those basic basic living expenses lumped together, you know what that number is, multiply it by 2 or 3, and that's your basic emergency fund. Ideally, a fully funded emergency fund is 6 months of living expenses or more. Next question, max out Roth IRA or contribute more to Roth 401k? I would lean towards the Roth 401k because the max contribution limit for 2023 is $22,500, whereas the Roth IRA is $6,500 for 2023. So if you really want to max it out, I would definitely go with the Roth 401k over the regular Roth IRA. Okay, so that's just a quick money and coffee life chat. I have to say, it's been a month, you guys. I hope that the next month and the month afterwards gets better and better. But Kyle also said, hey, the next 2 months could also be more of what we're dealing with already. So I'm trying to hang in there as much as possible. I think I just put a lot of pressure on myself to continue to work and make income to help us afford our lifestyle. And I guess that's the wrong approach to what we're doing with our lives, because that's just unnecessary stress. So I'm working through it. Everybody has their own financial struggles, and I think one of mine is being okay with being fluid with my work schedule so that I can help my daughter adjust to daycare. I gotta remember this season is temporary, and I pray to God that she just builds up that immunity so that we have fewer and less frequent sick days, but I'm not counting on it. Just have to come up with backup plans and try to be as flexible as possible. If you're a new parent or you're going through this, let me know in the comments. I could really use some parent camaraderie right now. And I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.